Hey y'all, I'm gonna tell you about my favorite time that I screwed up. Um, just a little disclaimer. I'm gonna try and make humor out of this video because most of the topics here are not funny and we use humor as a coping mechanism. And that's okay. But again, with the disclaimer, don't think that I condone any of this behavior in any way. This was a mistake. We'll never ever do it again. But yeah. So basically, I was a 13-year-old in high school. And for those of you that don't know, it's pretty young to be going to high school. I was amongst so many people who are years older than me. And I didn't really have any friends. Like, I walked into high school without knowing anybody. I didn't have the chance to form bonds with people that would be going to high school with me because I was in 7th grade the year before I was supposed to. If that makes sense. I skipped 8th grade. So, anywho, so I just wanted friends. I wanted to have a friend group. Sorry, I heard a noise. Again, I just wanted a friend group. But nobody wanted the younger person in their friend group because I would just, but obviously being younger, if you're younger than everybody else, makes me a baby and makes me makes them not be able to talk about more mature things with me because you're younger than them. I ended up meeting this group of people, and for privacy purposes, we'll call them Cody, Cassie, Jacob, and Julia. So I met Cody, Cassie, Jacob, and Julia, and I was ecstatic. I was so happy that I met them because I've never, even in 7th grade, I never really had a select group of friends that I could just, go into and count on. Like in the TV shows and movies. I've never had that. I've always wanted one. So when I was invited into this group, I was really, really happy. And I didn't think anything of who are these people? What do they do? What kind of people are they? I just, oh look, friends. That's bad on my part. Actually, most of this is bad on my part. All of this is bad on my part. But anywho, I was desperate for friends, and this makes me sound
so pathetic.
I didn't even know what I was getting myself into. I just kind of accepted to be their friend without knowing who they were, which kind of sounds bad because you're supposed to judge people off of their personality, but they looked nice enough. So that was a plot. So we ended up sitting together every day for 3 months, and it was going great. And then I remember this one specific time when things started going sour. And of course, back then I didn't let it affect me because, friends are friends, friends fight. But looking back on it now, this is
part of the problem.
There was a lot of drama this one particular week. Everybody was talking really bad about each other behind everybody's back. So Cody was talking bad about Cassie, and Julia was talking bad about Jacob, and vice versa, And I was just kind of the middleman because I hadn't been there as long as they had. I didn't really know what they did in this situation, so I just figured it happened a lot. So that passed. So flash forward a couple weeks later, Julia and Cassie and I went to the mall, as teenage people do, as I thought. And we walked into a store. So they were let's go try on clothes, right? So we walked into a store, and it was some clothing store. I even forgot what it was because it was unimportant details. So we walked in there, and we gathered a whole bunch of clothes so that we could go into the fitting rooms and walk out and have a little fashion show. So it ended up being we would all walk out at the same time and then show each other our outfits. I don't know why we did that. I don't know what the purpose of that was. Like, now I know I don't care what you think of what I wear, but I really wanted them to like me, so I did whatever they told me to do. So we all walk out of the dressing room, and Julia and Cassie, they have on this revealing top, crop top, bralette type thing, and short shorts, like half their butt cheeks were hanging out. It's kind of crazy. And I'm over here wearing jeans and a blue sweater. And I will never forget the faces that they made. And like, it doesn't really haunt me, but like, it just shadows over me, the faces they gave me. So like, let me put on a little play. Hello, ladies. What do you think of the outfit I picked out? I worked really hard on it, and I really like this color blue. What are you wearing?
Maddie, me and Cassie were thinking you should go on a diet. Was that it?
That's good. So after that, they went to the shelves and they got me to put on the exact same things they were wearing, which kind of made me uncomfortable. Not gonna lie, made me really uncomfortable because I don't wear that stuff. But could you stop, please? I love you, but you're annoying. So, back to it. So they got me to put on all this stuff, and I was feeling really uncomfortable. And then they brought up the diet thing again. They were like, you would look way hotter if you lost 9 pounds. I was like,
How am I supposed to do that?
and then they were like, we have this like special diet, you know, that works. And it's like a miracle worker, you know? And me, again,
Being naive.
I agreed. Because like, I want to make my new friends happy, right? And if me being physically adequate enough for them makes them happy, then obviously the right thing to do is to become as physically adequate as possible. So that's what I did. And it did not end well. So like, I ended up not eating for like a week. And I was so fatigued and I was so tired. And this was to impress these people, which, if any of you have common sense, it means
Don't do it.
okay? It's not good for you. But anywho, the following month, it was like Tuesday, and I walked into school and my friends were planning to skip second period, which for me is choir. And they looked at me, they're like, oh, you should do it with us. I'm like, no? Do you know how much trouble I'd get in? They didn't seem to care. They threatened to not be friends with me. They called me a goody-goody, whatever that means, because I wouldn't ditch class. It's like, okay, what? No, what? No! But they ended up, and listen to these words very carefully, peer pressure me into going with them. Because like, I didn't want to have that image of them in my head, that's this goody-goody, like no fun, because that's what they were calling me. And I didn't want to be, Jordan, what are you doing? I didn't want to be portrayed as that. Like, anybody wouldn't. But like, I took it to heart and I eventually agreed, you know? And then once second period rolled around, boy, I was
Anxious.
so anxious. And then it ended up that Cassie and Jacob and Julia, they like completely dropped the plan. But I wasn't about to like let Cody down, you know? So got in his car and we escaped school, right? I could not have felt worse it was like just a pang of anxiety rushed up into me. And he was like, okay, where are we going? Where are we going to spend this hour and a half that we have? Like, I could be in choir right now learning whatever Russian song they want us to learn, right? It's like, we're just going to go sit up in the car in the houses in the neighborhoods above the school. It's like, okay, still feeling so anxious. And like, I felt like I was going to throw up. It's horrible. And then something happened. And I was taken back, like really taken back. Like, let me act this one out too. La da 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 da. We're driving. We're driving. This dude, who, mind you, is going 35 miles an hour in a school zone, pulls out a joint. And I'm like, okay, Harley, I know I just put paper in your mouth. Could you stop licking it? That about scared me half to death. It's like, number one, he's not of age. This dude's not of age whatsoever. Number two, that is about the most illegal thing you can ever do while driving, is to be intoxicated. Not to mention he was doing it in the car, so I'm gonna smell like that. Nasty. Nasty. I take pride in my hygiene, all right? I'm not about to go smell like some skunk out in the wilderness. So I started crying. And I like was begging him to take me back to school. Like, I've never wanted to go to school more in my life.
I begged him.
Take me back to school. And luckily he did, or else we'd have
A hostage situation.
But yeah, he took me back to school and I proceeded to have a panic attack after what I just saw. So like, it was the worst feeling. It was like pangs of like just every emotion you can ever think of. Guilt, worry, anxiety, everything. Just like all rolled up into one, pulsing throughout my entire body. And like, that's why I'll never do it again. Because like the feeling, the emotional, moral feelings, not only that, but I hadn't eaten in a week. So I'm on the verge of, you know, passing out. And it was bad. So, moral of the story. Peer pressure
It's not a good thing.
And if you give in to peer pressure,
You're an idiot.
okay, you're worth more than that. If your friends were really your friends, they wouldn't try to force you into doing something that they know is going to harm you, right? Currently, I'm still recovering from this. I'm still processing what's going on. I'm working on making more friends, you know, that are not these people. And working on making better decisions in regards to this kind of thing. Because like, this kind of thing, it affects you really. Anywho, thank you for watching my long video, and your credits.